Guys, thank you for tuning into the show. Welcome back in here, Slaughterhouse Sports. And we're going to talk now about Tommy Rees. You know, going out there in college football, there's this big sentiment out there from a lot of people who know about the sport and who know about it just as much as I do. There's this big sentiment in college football and in football in general that college football is such a special game that the problem is the people running it now with transfer portal, NIL, and a lot of other, conference realignment, the calendars, everything is so crazy that the process of college football, that people that are in it do not like it, that coaches actually want to go to the National Football League. They want to go to the National Football League, and they don't want to coach college football anymore. And right here, we have a prime example of somebody in their prime, all right, deciding to leave college football and go pursue other interest. And that is Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees helped illustrate one of the great transformations from an offense. Tommy Rees put together an offense with a quarterback in Jalen Milroe that seemed to really, didn't have incredible top flight wide receiver play, and Jalen Milroe had a ton of pressure on him because he didn't have the reps at quarterback. He was with Bill O'Brien, and all Bill O'Brien did was tear down Jalen Milroe's confidence and actually say, hey, I don't like coaching you at quarterback. You need to switch positions. You should think about that because you're never going to be an accurate quarterback. So Tommy Rees needed to go out there and continue to build up Jalen Milroe's confidence. And they started out with a playoff team coming to Alabama with Texas. And Jalen Milroe, threw a couple interceptions. And then the next week, Nick Saban's like, all right, Alabama fans, you don't like Jalen Milroe? You're not going to see this through? Well, here's Ty Simpson and here's Ty Buckner. One kid's going to play lacrosse and the other kid is not going to play quarterback well at all. And then what ends up happening is that Jalen Milroe beats Ole Miss. Jalen Milroe then has a tremendous game against LSU. And Jalen Milroe ends the season as one of the best weapons in the sport. And then that same offense, which was anemic, that same offense, which was sloppy, that same offense that took all those sacks, played against a Kirby Smart defense and did not only well, they did great. And they ended up winning the SEC with Jalen Milroe at quarterback. And this was Tommy Rees' first season as an offensive coordinator at Alabama in the SEC. Tommy Rees also was an offensive coordinator the year prior at Notre Dame, all right, and had some success at Notre Dame too. So touchdown Tommy. So Tommy Rees. What was it, Drew Pine and Buckner up there? So Tommy Rees is 31 years old, barely scratching the surface of his prime. Your prime as a coach is usually in your late 40s, early 50s, sometimes your mid 40s is when you really are around football long enough that, all right, I got it. I'm around it. I know it. I'm ready to handle everything. And Tommy Rees is 31, and he just had the catbird seat at Alabama. Nick Saban retires. Guess who he says should maybe be looked at to be his replacement? 31-year-old offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees was a finalist for the Alabama job. So now Tommy Rees, and by the way, it speaks volumes about Brian Kelly and their relationship that Tommy Rees did not want to go to LSU. Maybe they have a really good relationship, but Tommy Rees didn't want the offensive coordinator at LSU. I believe that that's still a vacant position. So, also at Auburn, all right, they hire Wes McGriff. Okay, he's worked at Ole Miss a long time. He's worked with Hugh Freeze. I get it. But Tommy Rees would be an upgraded offensive coordinator in so many places, but he elects to take the Cleveland Browns tight end job. All right. And being a tight ends coach is fine. It's usually a place where you can leapfrog into maybe being an offensive coordinator at the NFL level. So, and going to Cleveland, I will say this for Tommy Rees, it is a smart move because you are with Joe Barry. You are with Barry. I think it's Joe Barry. He is a really good general manager. All right. Kevin Stefanski is going to be somebody that's going to develop offense there. And they're getting a new offensive coordinator. I guess it might be Chad O'Shea might be risen to the point of being a new offensive coordinator, even though Stefanski calls plays, but still you have Njoku, maybe Flacco will come back. It's going to be important for his career to gain this knowledge. So, and you can always go to the NFL. I will say this, you can always go to the NFL and then you can come back to college. Look at Liam Cohen at Kentucky, a guy that's a rising coordinator, that's at Kentucky, was with Sean McVay, LA Rams style. So it's interesting, though. I think that a lot of people, and I heard this on Josh Pate's show, and I really like Josh Pate, he said that a lot of people, a lot of coaches are envious of Dan Mullen's lifestyle, which is Dan Mullen got out of the game. He's able to go broadcast games on television. He's able to show off his personality, and his stock's able to stay really high. And then guess what happens? What happens then is that for these next couple of years, it's crazy and there's so much unknown. What's going to happen with the 12-team playoff? What's going to happen with the playoff? What's up with the calendar? How are the playoffs going to look? Are people going to rest during the end of the regular season? Are the playoffs going to happen right with National Signing Day? What's up with NIL? Are they going to take the revenue that is shared throughout the television contracts, giving the schools billions of dollars? Are they going to start paying the players? When are they going to start paying the players? Are they going to start paying the players? Are airlines and companies going to pay players? All of that is so unknown that what Tommy Rees is doing is smart. Hey, I'm going to move up to Ohio. Okay, I'm going to coach football with a very analytics-based forward-thinking football program, NFL team, and I'm going to learn a ton about the game and a ton about lessons for the NFL, and I'm going to grow as a coach. And I see the move. I commend it in a lot of ways. I probably like the college game better, but I understand it. So that's where we're at. And it's a good ad for the Cleveland Browns. We'll say that. Tommy Rees, one of the rising stars in this profession. Can't wait to see what he does in Cleveland. Congrats to him on the new position.